Things sorted out over there, Dalan?
Uh,
Pretty good.
Ask my camera.
Oh, damn. Okay, we got camera situations. But look, boy, we hope we're ready here for Salient Points number 53 for January 18th, 2022. We're session's back in order. Is that what the judges say? We're back in order, or whatever it's called. We did our game of the year. On average, as Deo so aptly put it, is on average, It Takes Two, man. So the Game Awards got it right after all, right?
No, is that a question?
I mean, it was. I mean, it ends in a question. Anyways,
I actually thought he froze for a second.
damn it. I mean, I really hate you guys.
We know
sometimes.
how much you like to talk.
Look,
But
I really
answer
hate
to
you
your
guys
question
sometimes.
is yes, they got that part right.
Okay.
I mean, across the board, we all like the game. Everybody else out there likes the game. I mean, it's just game of the year. Everybody knows this game and everybody loves it.
And
Nobody had anything bad to
and
say
the most
about it.
important
Fun
thing
for the
is
whole family.
we gave no respect to Deathloop. No respect. It hit none of our top fives. It did hit, I believe, one of Luis's favorites, but he disqualified it from the running, but which is fine. It didn't need to have an official tally. Yeah. So I'm Carlos Macias. I'm the host of this here fine program. Go to wegotcoms.com to check us out over there. Like, subscribe, all that cool, fun stuff on the here YouTube. Yeah, we also got, as per 95% of the time, Dalan Kirkwood up in the mountains. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Their percentage is rising.
That is it, though. I mean,
The more I show up, the higher the percent.
That's kind of how percentages work, but I still feel
There
like
you
you're
go.
at 95.25.
I'll give myself 97.2.
You can't. This too high, man. But anyways, we got on the Wheels of Steel. Glad to have you again, sir, from DTLA, Luis Mendez. Thank you for joining us again, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, been a minute.
We missed your expertise. What did you think of the on average We Got Comms official game of the year? It Takes Two. How you feeling about that?
That's how the points work.
That's
That's what happened.
If you guys were following along, I hope that I actually was thinking, because I was doing the math on air. I thought I would actually have to break it down and do all this other crap. I was like, it was just too obvious of how it worked out. But for a moment, I thought it was Ratchet and Clank, man, Rift Apart. I know Dale threw us for a loop. I was like, okay, children's game. He put it, I think, at number 2, right, Dalen? I was like, okay. Children's
Hey
game.
man, let him like his games.
No, I mean, it was a nice surprise, is all I'm saying. But I thought it was Ratchet and Clank was gonna take you for a moment. But look, it wasn't too heavy hitting of a news week this past week, but we did get some interesting little tidbits. There's kind of 2 companies going in opposite directions in a sense. I feel like they're both kind of struggling with this kind of chip shortage and all these things that they have going on. But I did want to pose it this way: is that Microsoft was way ready to move on from last gen. They actually did say, and this was to The Verge, or this is from The Verge. They said to focus on production of Xbox Series X and S. We stopped production for all Xbox One consoles by the end of 2020, and that was a quote to The Verge by Cindy Walker, senior director for Xbox console product marketing. So I think I kind of like it. They did this with the original OG Xbox. If you guys remember that Microsoft was like, you know what, we need to bury this thing. We need to bury it, and we need to bring the 360 into the spotlight, because enough is enough. So I think they got the same sort of thing going on for Xbox One, and they were like, we need to bury it as soon as possible. On the other side of things, Sony did say that they're producing more PlayStation 4s, mainly to offset the pressure off of PlayStation 5 production. And I like how they kind of phrased it. You know what? I didn't put down who the publication they said it to. It might have been just the press release, but they did say, quote, it is one of the best-selling consoles ever, and there is always crossover between generations, end quote. So, that's a quote from Sony. We'll go with you, Dalan. What are your thoughts, man? Like how one of these companies is like, we need to bury the past and move on, and the other one's like, hold up, let's keep giving Prue more PlayStation 4s.
Well, obviously, when it comes to progression, you always want to actually eventually cycle out the old stuff, not like Destiny, obviously, but I'm just saying console wise, you want to cycle out the old hardware because you want to be able to sell the new hardware, and you want to be able to actually get those higher sales numbers, because your older stuff isn't going to sell for as much, and it's going to be outdated, and it's going to fall behind just in technology wise, unless you continue to sell 8-bit games. I mean, I don't see the problem there. But when it comes to ending the assembly line for these things, I don't know if it's a good idea for PlayStation to continue to do it, because Xbox stopping and continuing with the sales of their Xbox Series program here, it definitely hasn't been a problem for them, or at least not for the Series S, because that's still available. I don't know why that's still available.
But
like, all these scalpers are out here taking every other system. We took the Switches, we took the PlayStation 5s.
They think it's a speaker.
They think it's a speaker, man. Like DJ Khaled says, it's a speaker. But you know what? This is one of those things. It's interesting because this is obviously time of COVID, right? Obviously, PlayStation. Well, the thing is, though, even without COVID happening, I think Sony has always done this. I think the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2 was just finally like pulled off the production line, like in 2007 or 2008 or whatever it was, like way past its prime. And
but people were still buying it.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of like how these two companies see it, right? Microsoft is ready to move on, especially because they're cross-generation. They're all about, look, we want you to have the latest thing, but forget everything else. We just want you to update you to the next thing. But I think they're hitting the ground running. Is that what it is? They're hitting the ground running or whatever it is, that they're kind of like, we just want to get this thing going because we have good momentum. Xbox One was kind of a flop in a lot of ways. They didn't even give us sales numbers, but with the Xbox Series X, they're ready to, like, we sold this many and we want to keep it going. Luis, what are your thoughts, man, on kind of sort of differing strategies here from both of the manufacturers?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it already, but Sony has always sort of prided themselves in how long they support their older generation hardware. So I think they would have done it anyway, but I think they're just going into it even harder because they can't get any PS5s out there. So they're kind of just announcing like, hey, sorry, but this is what we're going to do for now because we can't get these out to you guys. So
they're boosting it in a way, right? Like they boosted, whereas before they would just let it live for however long it'll live.
So my concern in this is there still a market for the PS4 like that when the PS5 is out in the world? I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that people want a system to be able to play video games, but continue to actually make these systems through the end of the year, because that was their announcement. They've decided to do it all the way through the year of 2022. I guess they're making an extra 1 million consoles this year to be able to ship out. But is there really going to be enough people that actually want a PS4? Why not just hold out for a PS5?
I think we're gonna get a true test of this when Horizon 2 comes out, or Horizon Frozen Wilds, or whatever it's called. That's gonna be a true test,
because it's that game situation. It's the exclusivity for the PS5.
Well, and it's cross. It's not even exclusive, right? It's a cross-gen title. It's gonna come out for PlayStation 4, and I think that's what we're gonna find out. We're gonna see like, this thing sells 30 million copies on PS4, and it sells 2 or 3 on PS5. So we're gonna find out, right? Go ahead, Luis. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying a lot of them. Like there really isn't until like I think the end of this year. There isn't going to actually be a true exclusive PS5 game. Like there's a lot of them that are releasing on both. So that one, Horizon, I think God of War is another one, and then I forgot what the other title was.
Damn, they're really pushing as far as God of War, huh? You would think they'd be like, you know what, we need to throw.
Is Forspoken going to be for both PS4 and 5?
I don't even know what that game is.
Forspoken. I guess that's just me. All right.
Hey, but look, you're keeping that torch alive, Dalan, for Forspoken. I like it. Forspoken. When it drops, I'm sure you're gonna grab it day one, right?
I am. But it was originally called Project Aetha or something like that, Aethia. But it looks beautiful. That's
so you know, PlayStation said we're gonna boost PS4 production because we can't get PS5s to you, and Xbox said, you know what? Don't worry about that. We got you. We got your Xbox Series. Last thought, Dalan, before we move on.
Well, if anybody wants to buy a PS4 Pro right now for the 1 terabyte is still $300 directly on the PlayStation website. Instead of trying to search for one, people could just go straight to the PlayStation website.
Dalan's always with the PSAs. We enjoy those PSAs. Dalan. Another PSA, Take-Two is set to acquire Zynga. And if you don't know who Zynga is, I think they have like their icon is like the 2-headed dog, right? Or something like that. Or maybe I'm incorrect on this. But anyway, Zynga, they do Farmville and Words with Friend. You've heard about them. They're apparently worth...
They do mobile games.
They do mobile games, and apparently they're worth $12.7 billion to Take-Two, that they're willing to acquire them for that. I think, I didn't get the details on here, but but they did say they kind of can hold out for a better offer. So if someone out there is like, Zynga, you know what, we're gonna give you 15 billion, or whatever the case is, they actually can take that. But for now, Take-Two is offering up 12.7 billion. What was the last big one? Bethesda was bought for 7 billion. So we're talking about a mobile. Basically, they just make mobile games getting sold for like about $5-6 billion more.
Hey,
than,
don't sell yourself
Bethesda.
short, Carlos. They also do cryptocurrency lockers.
Oh, I think that's one of the things, right? Then that's good you bring that up. I think that's part of why Take-Two's interested as well, right? That these NFTs lockers or whatever it is, or crypto lockers, they're interested in that, right? So it's much more than just. We want Farmville. We want Words with Friends, right?
And not just that, they're also dipping into cryptocurrency. We now have a stadium with crypto.com. What's it called, Carlos?
Crypto.com Arena. It used to formerly known as the Staples Center. But I will go to this. Look, Luis, you are a big GTA fan. We do play with you every so often. We did do the contract just recently. Does this mean GTA to mobile? Or actually, how do you feel about these guys just buying the buying Zynga for so many billies?
I'm sorry, Carlos. I just gotta say you're wrong. I feel you're wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
About what?
About GTA Mobile.
I mean, that's what. Well, I don't think they've publicly actually said anything, but that's the speculation that they'll do like mobile ports for Red Dead Online and GTA Online, which I don't envision any sort of reality where that would work or like actually be fun to play on a mobile device. But who knows? Anything could happen, right? Yeah, I don't know.
And
I mean,
they did
it's
do
just
the
another
ports.
giant company buying another giant company to make more money. Like,
yeah.
Pretty much how I see it.
That's how, I mean, they and Take-Two doesn't just do GTA, right? But that's their biggest, like, they publish Rockstar games, right? They publish the GTA games or Red Dead Redemption and all that. So they don't just do that, right? So this is really like, they're like, we want to have our hands in mobile as well, which is a huge effing market, right? But yeah, Grand Theft Auto, they've done the. You all right over there, Dalan? He's moving the camera up and down. So and GTA, we have had the ports on iOS before, for San Andreas and for 3. I think it was San Andreas 3 and Vice City. So, and they didn't play very well, but they're on your phone, right? They were on your phone. This would be more
sad.
This would be more GTA 4 or 5, right? I would think they would, if not an actual port, which is kind of tough to say, right, that they're going to try to actually port GTA 4 and 5. It could be like a version of it, or putting these different characters in different games, right? Like where they could kind of synergize or whatever you call it, right? You don't seem too excited about a world where GTA 5 comes to mobile, Dalan.
Hey, man, we need GTA 6.
That's true. Stop logging in. They need to. If this acquisition means that we'll get GTA 6 quicker, I'm all for it. Please,
but we do got to do some of those heists though before this.
They make it hard to not log in, because didn't they just do double down?
They give you free $1 million and RP, double money or whatever.
Have you tried that out, Lise, where it's like Franklin and I don't know.
Nah, you need 2 players for that, so haven't done it yet.
I want to log in to do that, but please, where's the camera?
I did one mission with Prue though. I did the one before that with Prue.
Hey, I'm down to run the whole thing with you.
It was fun.
But we're getting off track.
Dalan, put the camera on me. Dalan, stop logging into GTA 5. But yeah, we'll move on. Unless you got other thoughts here before we move on, Dalan.
Nope.
All right. Luis, what is your big story, man? What's your big story this past week?
So apparently, Quantic Dream has a second game in development, and this is the same Twitter account that sort of leaked the Star Wars game that they're working on. So there's some level of, I guess, trust there that maybe they're right again. But this is based on the Dark Sorcerer demo, which came out, I think, 2013 E3. It was like a tech demo that they showed on stage. And if you guys don't remember, it was basically something that looked like, a sorcerer doing some crazy thing, and then out of nowhere it kind of cuts, and you notice that he's like on a movie set, and it turns into a kind of a comedy. So that's reportedly what it's based on. And so humor-based game, the core team in Paris will be working on it, and it's supposed to be more advanced than the Star Wars game, so I guess more next gen. But there's also some speculation from this guy that it would also be cross-gen, but they might shift their strategy, if they, for whatever reason. But yeah, that's something I just kind of found interesting that they not only have they not released the game since Detroit Become Human, but then they're also working on two while they're like still fighting these sexual assault lawsuits
There's
going
a
on.
lot.
So
There's a lot going on with those guys, right? And even I know we had it on quick takes, but even Ken Levine kind of like he's been known to be kind of a jerk and stuff like that. And I was hoping you guys would be interested in that one, but just really quickly, even with Ken Levine and the BioShock team, people were like, this guy throws away months of our work on a whim, and he wants to he's like, let's do this. And I like how people came out, and I like how people came out and they were saying that. I was like, this guy's a jerk, Ken Levine's a jerk, and he actually came out of the woodworks and was like, no, it's a luxury to be able to throw away that much work. And I understand that, because I think Quantic Dream, in a way, I don't know the name. Maybe you know the name of the guy, the director, at least. But I feel like I don't know if he necessarily does it to this extent. David Cage. I don't know if he does it to this extent, but I feel like there's like an auteur to these guys, right? Like Kojima, right? And Kojima and David Cage. Hopefully, they respect their team enough to be like, you know what? Let me think this far out, so we don't have to throw away all this months and months of work. But I do like how Ken Levine came out and was like, it's a luxury to be able to do that, to get these guys to fucking make completely new work on a whim. As far as the Quantic Dream thing, yeah, it's interesting, man. I do like their games. They're kind of, I feel like they're more advanced Telltale games. Like Telltale's been using the same shitty fucking engine since 2002, man. Like they're just been patching it up, putting duct tape. I know development's not like that, Luis, but I feel as a consumer that they're just
I've heard. I know people that work there on those games, and they were like, yeah, that engine was duct taped like all the way.
Okay, so there you go. We can agree. So consumers and developers can agree in sometimes where it's like that thing was way past its prime, but they kept at it, right? So to me, Quantic Dream is like that, but realized, and you might not agree with the games. You definitely are probably not agreeing with the development culture that's going on over there, but they're working with something. Hopefully they could kind of, get it together, right? And make something beautiful for the gamers. Dalan, any thoughts on this, or Ken Levine or whoever?
They need quick time events for their lawsuits, but I think that them trying to come out with new games in the middle of all these lawsuits is just how they're gonna pay for these lawsuits if people actually pick up their games.
There you go. You're not too big of a fan, I guess, of the Quantic Dream games. Huh?
I followed them a little bit, but oh man, it's a love-hate relationship. There's only so much of those types of games that I could take before I'm like, nah, I'm good. Because right after, what was it, Heavy Rain came out, it was just
Jason.
Yeah, but right after that game came out, it was just a slew of quick time event games, and then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired of this. By the time I hit Beyond Two Souls,
you know what you moved on to
just fine.
You know what we've moved on to? That's this, right? So QTEs we're going back to Dragon's Lair, dude. We're going back to 1980s or whenever that was. QTE. Then we're going to Shenmue, right? We're going to Shenmue for QTEs.
Yeah.
Then we got the Quantic Dream games, and then guess what, Dalan? We're going through it now. You just got it as a Christmas gift. That's the follow-up right there. The Until Dawn games, the Supermassive games. That's we're No,
you didn't give me an Until Dawn. It was Dark Anthologies,
I know,
or whatever
but
it is.
Until Dawn is the big one, and then this anthology has come out. But that's really what we're still playing QTEs, man. We can't escape them.
I know.
They exist out there. But anything else, please, before we move on from this? All right. So on our quick takes, we do have. I hope you looked this up, Dalan, because this one I'm hoping you can help me out here. But a speed runner was able to finish Sekiro in 2 hours blindfolded. Is this shocking?
I'm going to tell you, no, I did not look this up. But just the idea of it, I'm like, how can anybody do anything blindfolded in a video game? He has to memorize how far it is from one digital tree to that digital cliff before jumping.
Well, that's hard enough. That's hard enough for any game. We're talking Sekiro, dude. Where
Yeah,
I was
I
even
know.
like, you know what? This is gonna be a fun Demon Soul. Let me tell you, audience. Where's the camera? Put the camera on me, Dan. It is not that fun. You're gonna have fun for about like 35 minutes.
No,
Then you're gonna get
it is
murdered.
that fun. You just don't like that frustration level that comes
I
with
just couldn't do it, dude. And it was so fun.
Well,
for like
how
that.
does that make sense, Dalen? It is fun. You just don't like being frustrated.
No, there's
Yeah.
a certain level of frustration that still keeps it fun. It's like that type of frustration that you know it's achievable, but you're like, damn, I failed. Damn, I failed. Damn, I failed. All right, I got it. Let's go again. But Sekiro kept it up at the top like Demon Souls and Dark Souls and stuff like that. You're like, damn, I failed. And now I got to go back 3 miles and run this entire thing again
That's all of them,
without
though.
dying.
That's all of
No
them.
save points.
That's all of
Wait,
them.
Returnal all over it? No, I'm
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is not fun, but I did have fun for like the first 45 minutes. And I'm always a sucker for these because I always give them a chance. I gave Demon Souls a chance, and I'm gonna give this vertical flying leap horse game a chance too. And I'm sure I'm gonna quit after like 45 minutes also because
Check it
that's
out.
that type of game. I'm sorry. You know what? Those games have infected a lot of other games though. Everything is L1 R1 now. You attack. What happened to jumping with X and hitting with square or whatever? Everything is R1 L1 attack, and even in
we have Ratchet and Clank.
That's true, but that's one. And that's almost our game of the year, but that's why it's so beautiful, frictionless gaming. But anyways, the speedrunner, congratulations. I thought you were keeping up with the speedrunning community, Dalan, but whatevs. Okay.
What? No. Why would I do that? People are always
stuff
trying to
like
break these games and trying to, find the biggest shortcut and glitches in order to get from the beginning to end that is left in the game. I've seen people glitch through walls just to be able to skip entire worlds.
And that's why I assumed you would be part of this community based on what you just said.
I'm not trying to sit there and watch Sekiro for 2 hours when I haven't even played the game fully myself.
The man was blindfolded. But yeah, that's pretty impressive to even play any game, but especially Sekiro, that's a damn hard-ass game that nobody can
Hey,
beat.
get me a copy of Sekiro and I'll watch it.
All of a sudden. Next up on quick hits here is there's some PlayStation 3 listings have started appearing on the PlayStation 5 store, and this is after a report from Bloomberg saying that the PlayStation is actually considering a Game Pass equivalent. We did talk about it a couple months ago, or December. We did talk about how the Game Pass equivalent of a PlayStation. PlayStation version of the Game Pass. But yeah, so Jordan Midler, he's self-prescribed a game critic on Twitter. He did find, he said, not to panic anyone, but a PS3 game shouldn't have a price when viewed on a PS5 unless, and then he shows Dead or Alive 5. He shows some other things. Some other games have popped up on there. What are your guys' thoughts on this? We're going to be getting some PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 3 games on PS5 soon. Luis?
Probably. I mean, why else would they be showing up on the store? And I don't know if they'll go as far back as like adding the entire library or 90% of it or whatever. But yeah, that they've been trying to figure something out behind the scenes on how to keep up with Game Pass, how to get in on that market. So I don't know if they think PS3 games is going to be the way to do it. Then we'll see. But
yeah, Dalan, are you excited? Any PS3 games that you want to see on your?
Well,
PS5?
I figured that their PlayStation Now was their gateway into the Game Pass situation, because all they have to do is adjust that to actually put a bunch of free stuff on a thing that already exists and just have people pay for it. But as for games that I want to see from the PS3 show up is, for me, Split Second. I want that game back. They need to fix some of the balancing issues with it, but that game was excellent all the way. It was fun, explosive, awesome music, but Disney dropped the project and said, "No, we're gonna just move on."
And I think I remember kind of introducing it to you at some point where I was like, Dalan, this thing is $5, or wasn't it like $5 or $10 or something like that?
I don't know how much it was, but I was waiting for that game.
Okay,
I don't know what
gotcha.
you're
wait, was that
talking
the
about.
racing game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
it was
like
a racing
buildings are
game.
falling over, you can trigger like the bridge to fall or the freeways to collapse. I played with Dalan for like 10 minutes because I was like, I will never beat this guy, so I'm done.
But they also came out with, at the same exact time, they came out with the game Blur, which was like a Mario Kart type game,
Yeah.
but with more realistic
I
cars.
think we mentioned it before, but they basically like cannibalized each other's sales because it was Split Second, Blur, and then Mod Nation Racers. I know you guys forgot all about that, but it was like 3 games dropped
That
on the
was
same
Disney?
day. No, it wasn't Disney, but
No, you're just talking about they all dropped around the same time.
it
Though.
was
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
exact day. It was the same
Oh,
exact day.
snaps.
They all dropped. They're like, do you like racing games? We got 3 of them.
Let's give you 3
Let's
right
give
off
you
the
3.
bat.
Let's kill the chances of any of these games ever making it by splitting the
But
market.
my point being is that they could bring back some of these games to give them a second chance, because some of these games were excellent. And some games out there were just complete trash, and don't bring them back. Like that weird Two Tales game. I don't even know what to call it. I guess you played some weird adventure Tales game. I can't remember what it's called.
I play all kinds of stuff, dude. I forget half the time.
But there are just some games that deserve a second chance. And if they could do that through bringing it forward 2 generations, I'm down for that. Bring back Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You know people will buy it.
Now, it was good that you brought up the PlayStation Now, Dalan, because the other quick hit we have on here is that Sony is apparently phasing out the PlayStation Now card and is just now focusing on PlayStation gift cards. So that means they're saying, get these PlayStation Now things off the shelves. Just keep the PlayStation cards up. Luis, this is kind of a push, right? That Game Pass is coming, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I forgot what episode it was. It was a few ago though. But yeah, we talked about how, I don't know if it was a rumor or whatever, but they're basically phasing out PlayStation Now and rebranding it. It's going to be the same, essentially same service. But I think just something, the way that it was initially came out, and it was like streaming games, you couldn't download them, then you could download them, and they still had trouble getting people to subscribe. So it just makes sense for them to be like, okay, fine, we'll just give you the same service but give it a different name, and then maybe you guys will actually subscribe. So
yeah, and this is kind of like one of those things, like it's just Sony like kicking and screaming, dude. They're gonna get dragged into like, where is your Game Pass? Like, I think people will like start to expect it, right? Like they're like, Xbox has the Game Pass. Where's yours? Like, we're so used to subscriptions and all this. We're so used to subscriptions that Netflix just raised the price and we didn't even blink. We were like, it's fine. Just charge me more.
No, I gotta say, just saying that alone, Carlos, it seems a little unfair by itself, because Xbox is currently the only ones with an actual pass, where you got the Epic Store, you got your Switch, you get. Wait, what Game Pass does? Oh, well, I guess their expensive ass subscription service that does not do the same thing as an Xbox Game Pass. That's basically PlayStation Now on the Switch. And that still doesn't feel as immersive as the Xbox Game Pass. So I still don't see the comparison there. The Xbox Game Pass is its own monster.
Look, I like when you get smoky like this, Dalan, but what are you talking about, sir? We're talking about they're moving towards that direction. We're not saying they're at Game Pass levels. We're saying that Sony is moving in that direction. And actually, now that I, kind of jog my memory here, is it's going to be like a 3-tier system, right? From what I understand. And no, it's not going to be as good as Game Pass. These guys are going to be as wacky as hell.
Told you, I forget its own monster. It's on its own level.
I forget.
And don't bring up Stadia to me, man. I heard you.
I didn't say Stadia.
Oh, they were going to bundle it like PlayStation Plus, then their quote-unquote Game Pass, and something else. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
they were going to do like these bundled tiers.
Oh, video rental.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's coming, right? The Game Pass for PlayStation is coming. Is it going to be as good as Xbox Game Pass? No, not at all. Like, at least not at the beginning. They're going to have to go through some learning pains, right? But, and to kind of move on a little bit more. But, so Phil Spencer from Xbox did say that the PlayStation Game Pass is, quote, an inevitability and the right answer. So Phil Spencer, the competition, knows that it's like, we're going to get copied on this, and it's the right thing to do. Luis, as far as Phil Spencer's can say, is he right? They know what's coming.
I mean, they want to get in on that chunk of change right there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's gonna happen. If they didn't, they would be stupid not to try to at least copy it.
Even with their wacky tier system. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering that if they decide to do Game Pass, are they going to be able to continue to take that large percentage out of games that want to be on their network?
I mean, the Game Pass stuff, they have like their own deals as well, Dan. It's not like
that's what I'm talking
about, right?
But that's kind of what I'm talking about, is the fact that I'm sure that they still have the games up there that are for sale.
Yeah.
And will they actually end up dropping the percentages in order for other companies to actually want to actually be a part of their little pass?
I mean, I think it's
Probably
gonna
not.
be.
You're like, nah, we want our money.
I mean, I
Go
think it's
for
going to be a case by case basis, right? I mean, you have Ubisoft that's kind of coming into the fold, right? The Game Pass fold, and even them, they're like, well, look, with Ubisoft Plus or this Ubisoft whatever, we're making our own pass. Where I'm like, what games do I want to play from you guys that I need a pass for? But they're doing their own thing. Everybody wants to get into the subscription game. Will it be as good as Game Pass at the beginning? I don't think so, but we'll see. And I mean, really, for them to compete against Game Pass, we can say that they're at the equivalent of Game Pass, the games need to come day and date, right? We need to see a Horizon the day it releases on disc. We need to see it on that platform, on the PlayStation version of it. And they got to prove that out, right? To them, they're kind of like, Microsoft has all these avenues of revenue, right? That a Game Pass can just be a part of it. Whereas PlayStation, I think it's like Sony's biggest brand, right? Like they need to protect it. They need to we want to make the most money out of this. And for us, it makes more sense to do games and release them at $60 as quote unquote premium. But like Phil Spencer says, it's an inevitability that they're just going to have to figure it out. They're gonna have to figure out how to make it work for the gamer. But I think companies are gonna have, it's a case by case basis. They going to what you were saying, right? It's some companies, it'll make sense for them to be a part of the Game Pass, or they'll be like, you know what? No, we want the cut, or give us a higher cut of the game, and we won't be a part of your subscription or whatever, right? They're gonna have to figure that out. But don't be scared, Dalan. Is there something that scares you about the future of a Game Pass everywhere?
It doesn't scare me. That's a thing for the players. The players are like, ooh, free games. Meanwhile, the companies are like, damn, we're dishing out all this money and we ain't getting no actual money for the games itself.
Yeah. They got to be smart. I think they got to be smart about how the deal that they make, right? Because even on Game Pass, you see some of these games that, yeah, they're there day and date, but then 3 months later, 4 months later, they're off the service, right? Just kind of like how Netflix has people that go on the service on and off. And Luis, would you happen to have a little developer insight maybe as to how some of this stuff works? I guess if they get on Game Pass.
No, not a clue.
All right, got you. I love it.
This is not a question for me.
But we'll see. Well, definitely PlayStation's working on that. They'll figure out their tier system. There's going to be some damn growing pains, I'm sure. But it looks like it's inevitable. It looks like it's coming, just like Phil Spencer is saying, and we'll be there for it. I'm down, man. The next thing we have on here is Dying Light 2 will get 5 years of post-launch DLC, and that's a guarantee from Techland. Dalan, I know we just started. We're going to talk about this a little bit more and what you've been playing. But how do you feel about Dying Light 2? You weren't convinced about the series, right? So I think maybe you've taken a turn.
I didn't even know the series was that big.
You had told me it looks like another zombie game. This is a direct quote from Dalan. This is just another zombie game. But I feel like your interest is built, right? Or how do you feel about this Dying Light 2, I suppose?
No, I was 100% right. It's just another zombie game. But they do some interesting things in order to try and stand out from the rest of the competition. Part of it is that parkour, and you were like, "It's definitely no Mirror's Edge parkour." No, not at all. Yeah. But the way that they built the game, and more so the lore that comes with the extra zombies that they have out there, is really what makes it stand out. They're not all just your run-of-the-mill zombies all the time. Yeah. So that's the part that feels better to me. It's frustrating trying to kill some of these zombies that don't want to die, but
so I mean, you're grabbing this now, right? We're actually, I looked at the percentage, and we're like about 20% through the story, and I've just been doing 20%. I know you, Dalan. I know you're suffering. I gotta wait for this guy to play this game because I know you want to play it. I know you want to continue playing it and poop sock it. But Dying Light 2, and the fact that it has 5 years and they're saying it's a guarantee, that's kind of got you hyped for the sequel, I suppose.
Nope, not at all. Okay. But I will try it.
This next one, I think this one was for you, Luis. I did like how these guys said, Techland was like, it is going to take you 500 hours to play through this game. And you already know what I thought. I was like, no, I don't want that in my life. And apparently a lot of people thought the same thing. So they actually came out and did a whole graph. They put out a little picture graph or a GIF or whatever you want to call it, where they put, okay, 20 hours to Critical Path, 80 hours to get all the side quests, 500 hours to complete everything. And I was like, okay, now I'm kind of interested. It's piqued my interest. Luis, how do you feel about this? I called it the 2080 500 Club.
Well, yeah, adequately named, I suppose. But yeah, so I think they were coming out with, it was supposed to be their sales pitch, like their big thing of like, buy this game. There's so much content. And everyone was like, that's all too much content. Like I want to play other games, right? So I did kind of find it humorous that they had to come out and clarify and be like, no, wait, look, if you only want to play for 20 hours, you could just do that.
We got you. We got Carlos. We got you. Don't even the 1% of gamers out there, Carlos. We got you. I'm like, all right, no.
I think it was the overwhelming majority, or at least, I mean, that's kind of how the internet works, right? The people that are the loudest seem to be the biggest.
And there was a little controversy too. I don't really go down these controversy rabbit holes. I know. I think Dale goes down them a little bit. Dale, I'm talking to you, and I hope he hears this.
But hit him up.
But they go, and I don't think I'm hitting them up too much. I think, but people get involved with the like console war stuff, and like I hear it all the time from like other podcasts. Like, who cares what system you play for, what console? I'm like, yeah, I know, no one cares. Why are you guys blowing it up? What the fanboys are saying? Like,
I haven't heard any console wars talk.
Yeah, it doesn't
like a decade.
And it's like one of those things. Like you guys keep defending against it, but it's like, why are you in it in the first place? But I do understand. Look, to be honest, my Twitter following isn't as big as some of these guys' Twitter following. Maybe it comes with the territory. Right, like a lot of people say Twitter can be toxic, and I'm like, wait, I think I've had genuine good experiences on there. We met Dale. I would have never have met this guy if it wasn't for Twitter, and I've met so many people, so many good interactions through Twitter. But I think it comes with like if you have millions of followers or thousands and thousands of followers, maybe that's it. The toxicity comes through, right? But so I think that was one of the controversial things that was coming out is like, well, you guys, it's only the critics that are saying this because they don't have that much time because they have to sample everything. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a lot of people too. Like, you know, like we all have jobs. We all like don't have 500 hours.
Like, this may not be our main thing.
Yeah, but I was very amused by it as well, Luis. That these guys were like 500. Yeah, it's exactly what you said, right? I'm just repeating what you said at this point, but it was really like, check it out. We have so much stuff. $60, 500 hours, and I'm like, no, I will not do that. So that was kind of funny, and the fact that they did a graph for it, right? That they're like, here it is. Where do you fit in? I think I tweeted something about it too.
You're not Skyrim. You are not Skyrim.
And I think I tweeted something about it too, right? It was like, hey, we got you. Don't worry about it. Look, which camp do you fit in? Just come on through. So that's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it, Dalan. I think you said you don't worry about our deadline, but I think we're trying to beat this game by February 5th.
Yeah, I am. So I am trying to help you do it.
So we could co-op, man.
What are we at right now?
20% on the story.
Ah, damn.
And then we could do
That's
your
a lot
side.
faster than I expected.
Then we could do your side stories. Then don't worry.
Then we can move on to other stuff.
Dalan, don't worry. The sequel's gonna have 500 hours for us to play, man.
It's gonna have plenty of zombie killing that I'm just gonna put down and walk away from. But yeah.
So next up, more games. Game Pass. For me, it's a little exciting because Nobody Saves the World is dropping on there. Rainbow Six Extraction and Windjammers 2. Windjammers, we played the first one, Dalan. That was like the disc thing that we kept throwing back and forth. So we got to get down with the sequel, even though we only played it for like 20 minutes, the original one.
Wait, you are wrong.
Yeah, no?
No.
Yeah.
The game that we played was Disc Jam.
We played that too. But there was we didn't play Windjammers that we did.
No, we never played Windjammers.
Look, the exciting part here is Nobody Saves the World. All right, that's from the I think it's Drinkbox Studio. I believe they make the guys that make Guacamelee.
Does Rainbow Six Extraction come with a campaign?
We're gonna get to it, then. We'll get to it.
Hey, if it's got a co-op campaign, I'm down to do that.
So Nobody Saves the World. Why that's exciting for me is that it's the next game from I think they did Severed, and before that they did Guacamelee. These guys, the gameplay in all their games are just so tight. It's so good, and it's got a little space of Mexico in each of the games. So I like that, a little Latino heritage flavor. So Nobody Saves the World. I don't know what this one's about. I haven't spoiled myself on it, but the fact that it's on Game Pass day one. Pretty hyped about it. Luis, as far as these Game Pass things, are you excited?
Extraction. That's what I want to play.
Okay, it's a Rainbow Six Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
Going to your thing, Dalan, is that Extraction is apparently only using the original Siege operators, which is sort of interesting. Actually, that was released too as well. I don't know about the campaign.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well,
what?
he put no on it. So
Okay. So it's using the original existing Siege operators. So what's got you hyped about Extraction, Luis?
well, I mean, I like Rainbow Six Siege, but I guess their sort of argument, they came out with a statement, I think one of the directors of the game, but saying that they saw too much potential for their other operators, their operators and the other. They're not using all of them. They're only using like 20 of them right now, I think, or something.
Got you.
But yeah, they said they saw way too much potential to explore different sort of play styles with them, since it would be, PvE versus PvP. So, and they've even said that there's like some operators that weren't as sort of useful in PvP have like much more value in Extraction, because of like how you can kind of combine different operators with each other and play styles and whatever. So I don't personally have a problem with them using the same operators, especially if it's like a whole different setting, right? It's not, it's just a familiar face.
But
So,
I mean
yeah, I'm
that would
excited for it.
be sort of the concern, I guess, right? Because what you're saying makes perfect sense to me. Why throw out perfectly good characters and build and style of plays or whatever? But in a sense, it's kind of like people could say, wait, you're just releasing a level pack in that sense, right? So it can kind of be seen in two ways. Like I'm assuming you're thinking of it in
I
the
guess
positive
that's a
way.
little
Right?
short-sighted though.
You think so?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, because I mean, it's not like you're fighting against other players, right? So you're using it to play this whole new, in a whole new world, essentially, right? It's like this whole alien infestation thingy going on right there.
Okay.
So it's you using the same operators, but in a different way. It's not like the same sort of play style, I guess.
Okay, got
But yeah,
so that answers Dalen's question. It does have sort of a campaign, or it might not be campaign. It's maybe like a horde mode or something like that, then, or
It
it's a
sounds like
co-op
a mission
thing.
mode.
okay, which sounds perfect for Game Pass, right? When you think about it, I'm sure it's not gonna be on there forever, but perfect for Game Pass day one for us to try out, right?
Hmm.
Now, just because you brought it up that way, yes, I know I put no on this originally, but I still remember playing Rainbow Six 2, I think it was, or Rainbow Six Las Vegas 2. And the co-op campaign for that was people had specific roles and they were trying to save people, and it was fun to try and have to work together. And even though, yes, these new Rainbow Sixes want you to potentially work together, people are just gonna run in there guns blazing like it's what's the name of that game that's so popular on PC for people to shoot? They got the dust level. What is it called?
Counter Strike. It's
Counter Strike. They
Counter-Strike.
they turned Rainbow Six into Counter Strike to me.
Which I'm fully down for that. We don't have a console Counter Strike, so I'm very much down to try it out. So we're gonna try it out, right? I think it comes out on the 20th, I believe, or the next time Game Pass updates. Also, the Game Pass is gonna be the Hitman Trilogy that's dropping January 20th. It's 1, 2, and 3 in a single package. You seem kind of interested in this, Dalan. You're pretty hyped about Hitman Trilogy.
I actually am a little interested in it because I was too cheap to want to purchase the other ones, and I know some of them came out for free, and I have those on my library somewhere. But just to have them all drop at the same time, I'm thinking everybody was giving it all this praise, and I just never played any of the Hitman games. I watched my nephew play them. That was about the most that I got into Hitman, but. At this point, I might just give it a shot, see if I can actually make it through a game or two.
If you're like me, Dalan, 3 is the last one, Luis, right? That's the last one? Is that 3? Like the one that came out last year?
Is there a Hitman 4? Is there an Agent 47, the game?
I think the original they rebranded as... I think, yeah, the original, like... No, the original...
Hold on, Carlos. I'm gonna cut you up. Luis, why did you roll your eyes so hard at that statement?
Because Hitman it reached that weird point where they sort of reset their like Modern Warfare, like the one that just came out. So technically there is a Hitman 4, but it's a really old one. It's not like
Well, but did Dalan say 4 or 47? I thought I heard him say
Agent 47.
Well, you said 4 first. That's when I went like that.
Because they rebranded like the very original one, right, on PC or something like that. Agent 47, like they. The numberings are all over the place, right? These games are definitely like, here's a level, fuck with it. Here, like try to break it, try to figure out. It really is just kind of a bunch of level packs. If you're like me, Dalan, Hitman 3, I beat it in like an hour, so they are beatable.
What?
If you know exactly like what you're doing, like they're very easy enough.
You looked up videos.
Yeah,
on
I looked up a guide because I was like, I want to see it through because it's kind of cool, but I don't want to spend time figuring this crap out because it'll take you a little while, and it'll take you like you have to restart it a few times before you're like, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, I gotta cook a hot dog here first, and I gotta get a key there. And like it's wacky in a good way. Dalan, I want to hear your feedback for the Knives Out inspired level that's in Hitman 3. That's what I want to hear. At least get to that point. There's a Knives Out inspired.
I think it's like the first level.
I think it's the second or third. Because I did the first one, you're like on a train or something, right? Or is that the...
No, that's
okay.
Wait, you're a hitman. Are you supposed to be solving crime or creating?
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing to that level, that you're in Knives Out. You're basically in Knives Out, Dalan, trying to figure out what the hell's happening, the whodunit type of thing, right? Which it's
all right. But anyways, your point is that
it's
it's getting added to Game Pass around now on January 20th with everything else,
that's
right?
The moral of the story. We'll move on to the next one. Thank you for that transition, Dalan. So for the PC God of War just came out. The PC version of God of War just came out, and apparently it was in development for at least 2 years. This is from an interview in Game Informer. The senior manager of technical production, Matt DeWald, stated that he prefers playing the game with mouse and keyboard because that's what he's been doing for the past 2 years of development. So I don't know. Now that I read it, I was like, is that what that means? It feels like that's what that means. What do you think, Dalan? That it's been kind of in development for a while like that.
For the PC, I guess there would be bugs to figure out transitioning from console to PC. I mean, they didn't want to put Final Fantasy on PC, but they eventually did that. But I think the PC gamers at this point are calling. They're doing that whole switch everything call out, and now they're like PC everything. Let's PC everything.
No one wants.
I mean, most games are built from PC anyway. I mean, you got to have your demos on PC. You got to have your rigs for the games on PC. You have to test them on PC, and then you could test them on an actual console. I mean, why not build the game for the PC as well? But I understand that there's like graphical limits or something like that. Maybe it's just built for the hardware. I don't know. I'm going to ask you, Luis, in this I
actually was going to...
you said no.
Luis put a no for this on the rundown, but I was going to rope you in after I read this too, Luis. This could mean that the guy was just testing it on PC, right? Doesn't necessarily mean it was like actively being developed on PC, right? Or no, it based on what he's saying.
Unless I highly doubt that Sony Santa Monica operates on Macs, and there is a possibility that there's maybe a Linux or a few in there, right? But otherwise, they're building these games on PCs. Like if they're actually working on a PC while they're building it, right? And
then they're testing it
on a PC while you're working on it. So, yeah, for the most part. I mean, obviously they have to test different things with like different rigs and different graphics cards and this and that and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I do it all the time where I'm working on something, and rather than making a build for the iPhone or whatever, I actually just test it on the computer. And then later I'm like, okay, well, it works here. I'll make the build later, you know?
So in that way, like, whatever you work in as far as mobile or iOS or whatever it is, you have been working on a PC version of it with that logic. That's how they've been working on the God of War PC version, I guess. So there it is.
Yeah, that pretty much.
So I mean, everything is on PC. Everything's eventually coming to PC is what that means. All right.
No, they develop it, then they transition it just for that console, and they're like, no, we're not bringing it back to PC. We have the original files for the PC, but let's not put it on PC.
I mean, you didn't have to go out like that, Dalan, but I appreciate it, though. I appreciate the smokiness that you brought to that. It was not necessary. It was uncalled for, but I like it. The next
that's me.
Here, oh, damn. They said that's me. You missed it, Luis. It's on the video, though. He definitely just... No, he pointed at himself. If you guys never watched the video...
I heard it in the way he said it. I heard that he pointed at himself.
If you guys never see the video version of this podcast, look at it at what are we at? 48 minute, 49 minute. He pointed to his chest. chest and said, "That's me," like a cartoon Archie, or what was the old comic books, Taylor? Little Archie comics.
Yeah, that's old comic books.
Anyways, so we do have the DICE Award nominations, and for the longest time, I feel like even GoldenEye, I don't know if you guys remember, this thing goes way back. I remember having the nice little trophy of GoldenEye 007 Game of the Year, and it was from DICE. So I feel like DICE is still, Game Awards is cool. And, I mean, the gold standard is the WeGotComs.com Game of the Year, right? But the DICE Awards, I think those are like, I've seen as like the most legitimate awards you can get. And their nominations came out. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart got 9 nominations. Deathloop got 8, I guess. People liked it. A game called Inscription.
Just believe.
People like Deathloop. Inscription, It Takes Two got 6 nominations, so those are kind of like the top games. And I know Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I know I just retweeted this from Kind of Funny. They actually gave Ratchet and Clank Game of the Year. So I like that it's getting some respect for a children's game. I'm talking to you, Dale. For a children's game, it's getting a lot of respect out there.
Find the camera, Carlos.
But Dalan, what do you think, man? As far as do you revere the DICE Awards? Do you care about what they have to say, or what's kind of the big deal here for you?
For the most part, I actually do appreciate the DICE is still doing their award system because they do it a little bit differently than the VGAs, and on top of that, I would much prefer that DICE actually do the VGI. I feel like that would actually be a better come about if they actually did it. So the fact that they even did their own awards, kudos to them. But It Takes Two still needs to be on top.
I mean, Ratchet's got the. You know what? I think DICE. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you would know this, but I think it's all developers, right? Developers are voting for these games, right?
I think so. I forgot. I used to know. But either way, both games fun for the whole family. So
Hey,
Deathloop,
hold on. Deathloop's a little bit. Oh well, It Takes Two. Yeah,
no,
wait
It Takes Two and Ratchet and Clank.
Deathloop, fun for the whole family.
Deathloop is definitely fun for the. But yeah, I think maybe that's why I always thought to me they always seemed respectable, and actually, they're black tie events too. Maybe that's what convinced me too, that they're kind of like they actually dress up for them or whatever. But they've been doing them for a while.
They still respect themselves.
Yeah, they've been doing DICE. So I think you're making it seem like they just did this, Dan. But they've been doing, like I said, I remember.
I was like, I'm glad they still do it.
I remember seeing the DICE award on the brand new box of GoldenEye 007 back in the day. I was like, damn, these guys are respected. These guys got their own trophy. The next thing, Dalan, I know you're pretty excited about this, and I know this is on our own group chats. I think you were telling them, where are you getting this news from? But Mario Kart 9 is apparently in active development with a new twist, and this is coming from Dr. Serkan Toto, who he's actually from a consultancy firm called Catan Games, which focuses on the Japanese industry. He told GameIndustry.biz that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling very well, but Mario Kart 9 is in active development, and it comes with a new twist. I don't know, Dalan. What do you think, man? Could we use a new 9? Can we be Dalan at 9?
Can we use a new 9?
I feel like if a Mario Kart 9 comes out, I'm hoping that I could beat Dalan at it finally.
First, beat me on 8 without hand-holding handicaps.
Now, you would never turn on these assists, right? You would never turn on these handicaps, right, Dalan?
Depends on if everybody else has on their handicaps.
Oh, so you are a handicap user in Mario Kart 8 then, Deluxe?
Not on a general, not under general times. So
but
like
you do use them.
If I'm on a level playing field with everybody else, you can't beat me. So
why did you have to turn on the assist on Rainbow Road?
Because everybody else had their assist on. Nobody was falling off the course except me.
But you're so
I was like,
good,
hold
though.
on, we're on 200cc, flying at 300 miles an hour, and I'm flying off the course, and you guys are just making these turns like you're experts? Nah, lies.
I just want to get it on wax that Dalan uses assist in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's all I needed. I closed my case, Dalan. Luis, what does this mean to you? That there's a new Mario Kart 9. I don't even know what that means, Dalan.
Case closed.
Case closed. Luis, what do you think, man? That there's a new Mario Kart 9 on the horizon.
It's honestly very surprising to me because year after year since basically the Switch originally released, it's been like the #1 selling game. I don't understand how they keep selling copies when there's like, how does that make any sense, right?
Stop
That it's
logging
still
in.
the number one selling game.
Stop logging in.
But whatever, man. So yeah, that's why it's surprising to me
Yeah.
that they're
We're
willing
gonna
to
get
like
one, though.
remove, not focus on another franchise or another
Yeah.
game, even though that game is still selling well, and they can just be like, well, until it dies off, let's
Yeah.
work on something else. But,
Hey, don't worry,
okay.
we're gonna get a Breath of the Wild too.
Well, I mean,
Oh, I don't really care about.
So
Oh, see, that's the
thing,
problem. Let's make a new Mario Kart.
So the thing with this though, it's like you bring up some fair points, Luis. I think at the very least, look, GTA 5 kind of justifies it in the fact that they're constantly updating. They just updated this game like last week, right? Like they updated it kind of. I mean, it wasn't that big of an update, but it was nice enough for me to want to be interested in going back, right? With the contract,
Hey, where's my camera?
DLC.
Stop logging into Mario Kart 8.
But the key there is that at least Rockstar is still giving you new updates, right? It's not that just people are stuck in there. It's like, no, here, hey,
Yeah.
$1 million every month. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been done for years. It's been done. These guys are not updating it anymore, right? Like the only thing that's happening as far as that's active in Nintendo's part is that the servers are up, right? They're keeping the servers alive. But other than that, this is the biggest racket. This is a bigger racket than Skyrim and then GTA because they're like,
I mean, I didn't want to say it,
selling.
but
Hey, I
I'm
can say
saying it
this
for
when
you.
it comes to
I'm saying it for
making
you.
a Mario Kart 9 is since Mario Kart 8 is selling so well, they could just take their time with Mario Kart 9. Kind of like they're taking their time with GTA 6. People keep buying it. We're going to keep selling it. But maybe we'll work on the next one.
But I think
they could take a break if they want. They could take vacation.
but they're not.
So
Hey, you
Liz,
never know.
on this, I think they're gonna let that thing die for another year or two, right? And it's not gonna die, right? Because obviously it's still the biggest selling Switch game.
Right.
I think it's one of those things like the attach rate on that thing must be crazy, right? It must be 1-to-1 that it's like you buy a
Probably.
Switch, you buy a Mario Kart, like it's just that big of a thing. So they're working on it and eventually they'll release it, right? I'm pretty sure when it becomes like a 7th or 8th biggest seller of the month, that's when they'll drop the next one. Other than that, they'll just keep selling it. They'll just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So that's it for the news. We'll go on to what you've been playing. Luis, you've been playing. What you've been playing, man? You've been playing with us, right? I'm glad to bring you to the fold.
Yes, but also even not with you guys. I'm playing Destiny. That's like all I've been playing for the
Okay.
past week or so, I guess.
Well, I thought you've been playing a little GTA as well, but I guess that's one of those wayside games like Rocket League.
Yeah, GTA is just like my everyday login sort of thing. That's not like a new thing. But yeah, so I'm going in there and I'm just cleaning up all these old things going on, getting exotic gear that I never picked up and cleaning up old quests that just annoy me because I hate seeing large chunks of stuff that I haven't finished. So yeah. that's how
At
I'm
some
how
point,
about-
I had like 5 pages of stuff I hadn't finished, so
And
I
how
really
about-
had to go back and work
And
on
how
it.
about those blinking little waypoints that never go away? Those you must really enjoy those. What is that?
I make them go away.
Can you make
what?
the
No,
mechanic?
it's the-
Can you make the mechanic girl go away? Because that thing does not ever want to go away. Damn, I need to figure that
Yeah,
out.
just visit her
I have. I talked to her a
and
lot
get
of
your
times.
stuff.
I tried
The-
getting everything.
Wait. The mechanic girl? What mechanic girl? Which
Amanda
one are
or
you talking
something, I think. She's in the bay, like in the mechanic bay or whatever it is. She keeps blinking.
Amanda Holiday? I
Yeah.
don't know why she's blinking for you. She stopped blinking for me quite some time ago. Are you
Dylan,
okay, Carlos?
Crazy, first and foremost. But back to Louise. How you feeling, Louise? You feeling like you're enjoying it, or it's more like, you know what? Damn, I gotta check these things off the list now. Like, how you
Yeah, no,
feeling?
I'm starting to finally get into a flow of like what the game is, because every time I would log in, it'd be weeks in between, and I'd just be like, Dalan, like he'd be trying to tell me how to, you just got to go talk to this person. I'm like, I don't know who that is, Dalan, and the game isn't telling me how to get there, and it doesn't tell me what I have to do or
It still
what plan.
doesn't.
or
Hey,
whatever.
that
still doesn't.
onboarding
It still
is
doesn't.
terrible now.
No.
That
Forget the
onboarding is so terrible now.
onboarding. You're deep into the game, and it's still like, huh?
Yeah,
But I'm
It tells
glad
you to
you've
go to
been
some
enjoying it.
place like this place exists. Why? What?
Dude,
Yeah.
we're back in it though. I'm back in it too. I actually spent like today. Monday was my day off, MLK Day. that's a good day to celebrate. And I like Dalan. First and foremost, you were working on MLK Day. What is going on?
I'm
here,
getting double pay for MLK Day. I didn't have anything better to do today. It's not like I had a picnic planned or I was gonna go barbecue the ribs that I have sitting in my freezer. No, I was like, you know what?
Didn't ask for all that.
And work for a bit.
Didn't ask for all that. But what the moral of the story is that I had the day off, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend 3 hours leveling up my character on Destiny. I was like, damn, I'm hooked. I'm back in it. I'm back into Destiny here. Say goodbye to sleep.
And we got to do a dungeon tonight.
And we're doing we're actually recording earlier today because we need to hit the dungeon. So that's how deep we got comms is back into Destiny. But okay, Destiny, I hope you're having fun with that, Luis. Dalan, what you been playing?
Well, of course, we have another game that we've been playing. Actually, we already mentioned we've been playing Dying Light, as we mentioned, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But the other game that I decided to play is I guess I jumped into what is the name of that service that you use, Carlos, in order to get games?
Gamefly.
I got GameFly. Yeah, I finally jumped into GameFly.
Still waiting for it.
And I picked up Skyward Sword HD in order to actually finally play this game because I missed out on the Wii and Wii U altogether. But Skyward Sword HD is a very solid Zelda game. I mean, once you take away the need to use the freaking wavy of the sticks, I don't need that waggle. I turn that waggle off immediately without having to use the waggle. It is a solid Zelda game.
All right, there you go.
I'm very much enjoying it.
It's so long, man. That game is so long.
Did you beat Skyward Sword HD?
Yes, I did. It's so long, dude. That game.
It's so honestly, it doesn't feel that long. Honestly, it's just a matter of getting from point A to point B. If you don't go sides questing, you'll be fine.
Does it look good on your TV? I'm assuming.
Yes, actually, it looks just fine on my TV.
I played it on the Wii originally with the full waggle, with the extra waggle dongle. So it made it extra long. So it had extra.
The plus, the waggle dongle plus.
It had extra precision, extra waggling. And I couldn't play it on an HD TV, man, because the Wii's had like composite cables. I think you could like specially order an HDMI cable, but I didn't have that, or I just had the composite. It looks terrible on an HD TV. So that was like probably the last time I used a boot tube, aka a CRT. To like, I can't play this game on an HD TV. I gotta use
it. Was the generous lathering of Vaseline just for
it looks clean now, though, right? Like, it looks pretty clean.
Yes, it actually looks clean cut. Honestly, I couldn't even tell that it was from an older system.
Oh, go back to play the Wii version.
No, I'm good. I don't want to see the blockiness and the low resolution. It'll hurt my eyes to see the lines down the side of his shirt.
The thing that's frustrating about Skyward Sword to me is that it's kind of like a Skies of Arcadia-ish type of game. Where there's like little islands. I like the little, okay, Bill, I see you.
Like what? How did you?
No, not in the RPG sense. More on like that there's a bunch of little floating islands everywhere. And that how you, did you play Skies of Arcadia? Don't to me, Dalan, if you never played Skies of Arcadia.
I didn't know that's what you meant when you said it, but I guess we can say the same thing about Xenoblade Chronicles too, because those games had the same thing.
Yeah, that gave me a little sense of it. But yeah, Skyward Sword was like, when do I get Skies 2? Because I've seen enough. Like, and the thing is, they even have things walled off in a similar fashion to like Skies of Arcadia, where like that's
wind
the dark
wall.
area. Yeah, that's veiled off. Don't worry about that right now. So it reminded me of that. I just love Skies of Arcadia so much, I had to mention that. There's another game we've been playing, and we did mention previously already, but anything else that we didn't mention on Dying Light, Dalan, I guess that you'd want to kind of get to?
Some of these zombies are stupid hard to kill for no reason. The side quests, try and do them with other people. I tried to do a side quest by myself, Carlos, and I ended up in a hangar by myself, doors locked, couldn't kill these guys.
Good. That's what you get for not. We're supposed to be playing this thing exclusively co-op.
I did not go for the main quest. I was like, let me pick up a side quest. I know Carlos isn't going to want to do it quite yet. So I was trying to go off and get a better weapon so it could assist us in our journey. But doing that, I got murdered. First side quest.
Yeah, you deserve that shit, man. You really deserve it. But yeah, we've been playing Dying Light. Like I said, we're at 20% right on the campaign. It's pretty... the frames are not great. They're not great, man. I understand, like, I'm sorry, PC gamers, that I was like, shut up, man, about your 60 frames. But now that pretty much everything is like smooth on PlayStation, that's really like the game changer, right? To next generations, the fact that these games run at 60 frames for the most part, right? We're going back to Dying Light, Luis, and it's rough, dude. And there's like a generous lathering of Vaseline across the screen because the PS4 can't keep up.
Me.
It's there, man. Not maybe for you, it's there for you also, Dalan. You're on the PS5.
Okay.
We're running the same game, the same system, the same everything.
We're running the same game.
You're just not noticing. You're choosing to ignore it. But
actually, it might be that I have the enhanced edition. Does that make a difference?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. It runs okay. But anyways, it's kind of a wacky game. It's from 2015, so you kind of see all the little wrinkles to it. But it's still damn fun, dude, to like go through the last thing we were going through like an abandoned school, right? And we were just beating up on zombies. Like, all right, hey, I'm gonna get behind them. Hold on though, back up, back up. I'm gonna.
No, were those zombies? No, those were actual humans. We were trying to kill actual humans.
We were ganging up on humans and/or zombies.
Those humans don't want to die.
They really don't, dude. So I like ganging up on people in co-op and Dying Light because they getting beat up out there. But I do like how it shows off like our different gameplay styles, right? Because Dalan's very methodical.
I have my Lassiter.
Well, Dalan is like methodical. He wants to upgrade everything. He wants to like plan a route. It's like, okay, how are we gonna get there? And then and I'm sure on your map you just see
I look
running.
up and he's gone. I'm like, damn, you're already on your way. And then by the time I start moving, it's already like, all right, teleport to the actual mission. I'm like, damn, I didn't have to travel at all. All right.
That sounds like when we're playing Destiny.
I'm just running off. I'm ready for the next mission. Planning. What's planning? I'm going. And I do, like I told Dalan, I was like, I do it like as the crow flies. I'm going like straight. He's like, wait, why don't you go a safer path? No. I'm jumping through ravines or ravines or whatever you call them.
Ravines.
I'm going through all the towers, through all the zombies. I'm leaving some behind for you though, Dalan. So don't worry.
He's like, I'm not parkouring nothing. I'm hopping over walls and running straight down the street. You were running on highways, weaving in between cars. You went through a tunnel at some point. You were like, Dalan, it's safe. I forgot to turn on my flashlight for half a second. As soon as I turn that thing on, this whole tunnel is filled with zombies. Nasty zombies.
I told you it was safe.
Carlos, you just straight up left me.
I told you it was
he
safe.
left me to die.
Hey, I told you it was safe. But hey, Dying Light, it's been pretty good though. I like the experience. The story is okay. It's not too bad. It's entertaining enough.
I gotta say, if you're gonna play Dying Light, play it co-op.
There you go. And I think it might do up to 4-player co-op too, as well.
Yes,
I think. The one last thing on Dying Light, I do like you just mentioned, the fast travel thing, dude. I wish every game would do that. Like every game should, because we play Destiny, right? And on Destiny, sometimes like you miss out what a character said. You miss some of the story. You miss some of like the things that triggered the event. But in Dying Light, it doesn't let you. It's like, no, you need to wait for your player, and not only that, but the other player you're playing with, your partner, he can fast travel to where you're at, so it avoids that frustration of like, dude, jump over this. You're not getting there. You have to keep jumping or whatever. So
I had him teleport for the ground level, just straight up on top of like a train car or something like that, and he just bam, there it was.
I like it, dude. I wish more games would just straight up copy it. This is a game in 2015 they were doing this, so I don't see why Destiny doesn't do it or other games do it. But that's Dying Light. The other thing for me, I did play Call of Duty Vanguard. It fulfilled everything I needed, man. It was my like I call it my summer blockbuster. The graphics are beautiful. It's super smooth. That thing can run at 120 frames, but it makes it a little uglier, which it still looks pretty as hell. But I was like, no, I want all the graphics, all the HDR, all the fire. So I played it at 60 frames, and it just played great anyways. So Vanguard is still the summer blockbuster you expect it to be. The story's, it's okay. It's nice. A couple little surprises on there. Other than that, I'm kind of ramping up to Horizon 2, and I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I made it farther than I've ever made it, and it's okay. I don't think
you're dragging your feet. It feels like a forever game.
It feels okay. I think it might just be my kind of game. I feel, because I know Dale said it's so boring, and he said you don't have to play it. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it.
Wait until you're at that point where you have to actually, you're basically Batman. You're doing the whole stealth Batman thing. Oh, no. If you haven't hit one of those points, you're gonna look at those things moving around in their little lines, and you're gonna be like, all right, let me pause and come back to this another day, and you're never gonna go back.
Okay. I did get past some of that already. I did get past some of those.
Oh yeah,
little
some of the
lines.
early stuff isn't
Yeah.
bad, but then I got out into like the main field where you could actually
Spoilers.
where you have to travel like to the
Spoilers.
next town or something like that,
Mm.
and on your way there, you're forced to like go save somebody, but it's like surrounded by a bunch of these robot dinosaur things, and you're like on a cliff end, and you're looking down at all these monsters, and you're just like,
I kind of feel like deleting the game right now based on what you're telling me. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. I'm gonna keep on with that. We're gonna keep playing Dying Light, right? And Destiny. We gotta get this dungeon before reset. You guys look at the time. Do we have time? I think we have time before
We got
reset
time.
to get it going. So we're gonna play that. Besides that, we do have the Zinger for this week, and I hope you enjoy this one, Lise. But last week. Or I don't know if it was last week, but we heard about it last week. But two LAPD cops were fired because they were trying to hunt a Snorlax in Pokemon Go instead of stopping a robbery. Luis, in your line of work or in your line of life, have you ever done anything else because you wanted to get this Pokemon Go Snorlax or whatever else?
No. And I feel like them going out of their way to get a Snorlax and not stop a robbery is kind of whack, because that's not like that's like a rare Pokemon or anything. So
it's like saying a rare Pokemon. It's not a legendary. It's not a shiny. It's nothing of the sort.
it's nothing, man.
It's not a holographic. It's not nothing. These guys
It's just a regular ass Pokemon out and sitting in the grass, and you guys are looking at this Snorlax. And I had actually read some of the article for this. They got caught on their camera for inside of their vehicle, and they were like, "You can't use that against us. That's unfair." And they definitely lost that little battle.
Oh, they definitely use that shit against them for damn sure. What do you mean you can't use that? We will.
They were caught
We
on
will.
camera having that shit done. That was
Damn,
terrible.
dude. I do appreciate that, though, Lisa, that you, it's like, it's not even that hard to get a Snorlax. You can grab one if you must. Well,
Should have just waited until the work was over.
they definitely didn't get to
Wait
that
till
robbery.
end of shift, man. End of shift.
End of watch.
End of watch. That's what it was.
So there it is. That's another episode. We're back on. For 2022. We're back on Salient Points here. Salient Points number 53. Thank you guys for joining us. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm Carlos Macias, the host of this here fine program. Also, what the ceremonial ceremonies, Dalan, the commander of ceremonies.
The commander of arms.
Commander of Arms and Ceremonies. Dalan Kirkwood, thank you for joining me, sir. You're bringing up your percentage, Dalan. You're bringing up your percentage, indeed.
That's right. And we got Luis down there being the Sulu of the whole thing.
The what? The Zulu?
Sulu.
Is that a
Sulu.
Ghostbusters reference?
What? Man. Oh, man.
Luis,
You're
There's
alone
a
on
part
this
of
one,
the
Dan.
internet. There is a part of the internet, Carlos,
That just
that
died.
would blow up your Twitter feed.
I hope
You're
so.
not even on the internet, Dalen.
I know you don't even.
I know I'm not, but he is.
Yeah, but
And you don't know who Sulu is?
I mean,
a part
look.
of the internet is going to destroy you,
look,
Carlos.
I hope so. Hey, make sure to follow me and like and subscribe, and that's fine. Luis Mendez,
Yell at
thank
me
you.
about who Sulu is.
Luis Mendez, thank you for joining us, sir, on the Wheels of Steel. Let's beat this dungeon, man.
Mhm.
Let's get this done.
You hurt my soul, Carlos.
Who is Zulu? Internet.
Not Zulu, Sulu with an S.
Get out of here, Dalan.